Well, I I'm a little worried about going first simply because I had a difficult journey and I don't want my story to scare anyone off of journeying. So,
don't don't you worry about that. We need to share honestly our journeys, and people need, those who might have not journeyed before or have journeyed and had a blissful experience, need to know that it's also very possible to have a very difficult and challenging journey. And that's what people sometimes call a bad trip, but there's no such thing. Shelley, forgive me, we'll get back to you, but thank you for bringing this up. There's no such thing practically as bad trip unless you are doing it in a non-ceremonial, non-sacred, unsafe way. Then it could be a bad trip. But a challenging experience has its benefits. And you, Shelley, in our very brief interactions in the text, told me how amazing you're feeling. So if you're feeling great and open-hearted and love your life and learning your lessons afterwards, that difficult journey had its very important purpose, right?
yes, exactly. And that's what I wanted to point out, that I'm doing very well. But my journey on March 4th, and hello everyone to my who journeyed. Hi, hi, hi. Um, yeah, I really needed to check on this with you, Lana, and because it was such a difficult journey, and the journey carried on. You know, even after I left your place, I journeyed for another 4 days.
Wow.
Yeah,
Wow.
and it was very hard. I the best way to describe it is I basically went to hell for 5 days.
Mm.
Um, and I guess the best way to sort of explain what happened is to tell you what the experience was in the moment, and then and just to make sure everyone knows I'm fine. And there were a tremendous number of insights and wonderful things that have bubbled up since, and so it was worth going to hell for.
That's exactly, Shelley, what I wanted to ask you, actually. So you just took the words away from me. I wanted to say, so what are the lessons from hell that you brought back to this life?
Okay, yeah, let's start at the end then.
Because really describing the journey, Shelley, doesn't usually matter, because everyone's journey is different and it's usually symbolic for that person only. But what matters is what the meaning of it for you, not necessarily what you saw or experienced.
Excellent. Okay. I think the main insight or lesson was, it's hard to get my words together. I think all of the lessons that you and Yvonne have been giving us have become solidified for me. So I learned to love even the terrible parts of myself.
Ah, okay. Wow. That's
Yeah,
an enormous lesson.
it's enormous. And because
Wow.
there are some terrible parts,
Mm.
and it was a terrible. I wanted in those 4 days to end this soul because they were so terrible. And when I came out on the fifth day, I just realized I came out because I had accepted those terrible parts of me. I had accepted the harm that I had done in this life and other lives, and I truly understood that it's not a matter of judgment. If there's no judging, that that was for my benefit. Like you keep saying it, and I sort of understand. I I saw my birth into the universe, and it wasn't on the right side of things. It wasn't what you might want to think of your soul. It was terrible. And but my creator loved me.
Mm-hmm.
And so I felt that, and I realized that the heavy weight in going to hell was to really feel the pain of what I had caused. And I wanted to escape. I wanted to get away from that pain, but there was voices that said, no, you just stay with the pain. You just feel that pain. And there were times when the pain was too much to hold on to, too much to carry. And I thought the only thing that I could do was end this soul, to end my soul. But I knew that it wouldn't work. I knew that nothing would end it, and that I had to transmute it. And that's exactly what the universe had been helping me do, was transmute it, and with love. So I feel like, and all of this was in preparation for some surgery that I have to have. Like, this is really what got me onto this this journey. And I feel right with my soul. I feel balanced. I understand self-love. I understand that it's fundamental. There's no shortcut.
Yeah.
And it really does come down to, you have to find a way to love even the most evil parts.
Yeah.
And in loving the most evil parts of me, I then love even those who you might call enemy, or somebody that is even annoying. You love them too. And I think I mentioned to you, there was someone in my life who, the moment that I was able to, I don't necessarily like her, but I understand and I have compassion, and there's love for her. I knew that that's when I knew I would be right with my soul. And it's happened because I loved those parts of me. And when I started the journey on that Saturday, there was the message, don't throw stones. And I think that it was not just don't throw stones at others, but don't throw stones at myself. So I feel absolutely right with my soul. I can go into this surgery completely giving over to the process, because no matter what happens, I'm okay with myself.
Wow, that's beautiful. I'm actually really glad that you started first, because you just perfectly demonstrated what we keep teaching you, that at the end of the day, it's all about learning to love yourself, and learning to truly love yourself, not to compensate for the lack of love by being selfish and by being self-centered and narcissistically self-serving. No, it's the opposite. When you truly love yourself and you love your soul, when you truly accept all that you are, paradoxically, you actually lose the shadow and the bad and the evil parts of you, as you call them. You actually lose them just by loving, accepting them all. So accepting all parts of you, even those that you have always perhaps disowned or have been ashamed of, or even perhaps hadn't been aware of, but that are less than conscious, less than loving, and perhaps even harmful to other people. When you accept them, paradoxically, that doesn't mean that you are permissive, that you want to actually, it doesn't mean that you're giving them space. It doesn't mean you're giving those traits life. On the contrary, as I keep saying, paradoxically, when you accept them, they dissolve. And that's why we keep saying the cliche, love heals all. And it's true. And when you love all parts of you, you love everything and everyone in you and out of you. Because in that space, you know you're one with everything, and you instantly love everyone. So it's the most selfless form of love. And it's beautiful. And you demonstrated also how it's not necessarily easy to arrive at that place, especially if we have done some things that we are not proud of, some things that are not very aligned with our soul or with the divine love, with the divine energy of love. and whether in this life or previous lives, so usually accumulation, we have to go to hell first. I've been there too in a medicine journey. There's no way around it.
I remember you saying that, and I thought maybe you were being descriptive, but
Dramatic, you mean?
yeah, but honestly, this was hell times 100. It was worse than I could have ever imagined. It was to the core, and I tried to escape, but then I just had to sit with that pain and feel the pain and walk through it. And it's so true, when you face those demons in your head, you can walk through hell. Yeah. And I came out the other side. Yeah.
Like that song said by Fia, right? Yeah. I can walk through hell with ease. Yes.
Yeah. And I think it also helped to see, it seemed like it was also a bit analogous to the beginning of the universe, and how we're all creations of the creator. Like we were designed with no judgment, with of all the infinite possibilities in the universe, the creator created all sorts, including what we say here is evil or
exactly
bad side. That was created too. And I heard about my birth. I heard things like experiment and things like that, but I also heard balance. I heard this term balance, how we need it all, not just to balance ourselves in the universe, but also to ascend, to evolve. Because if you're comfortable and happy, you don't necessarily evolve.
Yeah, absolutely. 100% true. The dark nights of the soul are those most important and most transformative times of our lives.
And it's just true.
How it is.
I thought it wasn't going to end. I mean, I was on day 4 and I was just thinking, am I going to have to do this for the rest of my life, carrying this? And and I finally came out of that terrible space with the answer of how to do it. And the answer was this. When I woke up, I had asked the night before, how can I do this? How can I go through this? How can I carry this pain anymore? And the answer was, laugh and don't eat meat.
Oh, wow. Interesting.
Which made me laugh, because right? It seemed like such a 3D thing to say. And then I laughed, and then I laughed, and then I came out. I came out of hell, and I started to pull myself back together. And then everything was just like, just so incredibly, amazingly joyful. And there's a lot of things in my life right now, and my life's a bit of a shit show. And I had been practicing what Lana said about walking in the calm eye of the hurricane. Now, no, I don't have to try to walk in the calm eye of the hurricane. I am the calm eye of the hurricane.
I was just gonna say, now you are that eye of the hurricane. Awesome, love. Beautiful. Beautiful. And I am glad you didn't reach out to us within those 4 days, because part of you knew that you needed to do it by yourself.
Are you reading my mind, Lana? Because I don't know how many times I thought about, oh my God, I have to phone Lana. And then I thought, no. Yeah. And it was exactly like, even during the ceremony, so, I wanted to reach out for help, and something said, no, you just lay there and feel the pain. You just lay there and feel that pain.
Yeah, because being rescued wouldn't have helped on the long run.
You're right.
Awesome, love. Thank you. Thank you. That's a beautiful, powerful share. And I'm so thrilled for you to have arrived at that place that we have talked about before. It was about time to go into darkness too.
Holy smokes. I don't know if I would have chosen it, but I guess I was ready, and down I went. And when I started that journey, and I kind of had an inkling it was going to be hard, because the forest medicine said to me two things: don't throw stones and remember to breathe. And then it started, and I thought, oh boy, this is gonna be tough. So I was like breathing and breathing.
I know.
Oh
I
boy.
know. Most of us would never choose that in this life consciously, but when it happens, and after when we survive it and emerge out of it so victoriously and so transformed, we are so grateful for it.
Thank you, Lana.